Hello, this is Mike Thompson from Right Foot Down, and we're here at the North American International Auto Show. I'm here with Klaus Busse. He is the head of design at Fiat Chrysler America.
Almost.
I almost nailed that.
It's actually, no, I'm on the European side. So I'm based in Torino, and my team and I, we design all the product for Fiat Professional, Abarth, Lancia, Alfa Romeo, and Maserati.
And Klaus, can you walk us through your journey to how you got here today?
Well, it's been a bit of a global journey. I'm born in Germany. I was born in Germany, so you can tell from the accent. But studied in England, and then I spent the first 10 years of my career actually in Germany with our friends at Mercedes, Daimler back then.
Yep.
And then when Daimler became Daimler Chrysler, I jumped over to the Chrysler side. When they decided to split, I decided to stay with the Chrysler side. And I was running the interior operations for all our American brands, so Jeep, SRT, Chrysler, Dodge.
Oh, wow.
All the interior design was done by my team. And then when out of Chrysler became Fiat Chrysler, a year ago I jumped ship again, and now I'm on the Italian side in Torino. And my team, we do all the European brands, including Alfa Romeo.
Well, we're standing, we're actually sandwiched between two beautiful cars here.
Exactly.
We have the 4C Spider and the 4C.
Yeah.
Could you kind of talk us through the influences and any special details and kind of nerdy touches that you guys added to these cars?
I think I would say it with I almost said one word, it's two words really, but with one car, the 33 Stradale Alfa Romeo. So if you haven't checked that car out, you need to Google it. It's a 68 vintage, an amazing car. We have one, of course, in our museum in Arese, in the Alfa Romeo Museum, and it's one of these cars you look at and it's like, give me a cigarette. It's one of these amazing, beautiful cars, and it has. I have to admit, it has some odd angles, but has some amazing, beautiful body sculpturing, and that's what the team tried to do here with the 4C. And what you'll see is there's a lot of emphasis on the wheels, like you will see on the Stradale with these beautiful muscles here. Now, the one thing that the Stradale does is it puts a lot of cavity in the body, so the car looks super light and super sculptured now. Of course, aerodynamics have changed between 1968 and now, so you can't get away with nothing there. You want to have these elements here that make sure that the airflow arrives correct at the wheels and the body, and you're not flying away. Because as you know, and you told me you drove this car and you had fun, right?
Yeah.
As you know, today it's all about ground force and being attached to the track. So we couldn't quite totally capture the 33 Stradale, but that's where the influence came from.
When you drive a car like the 4C, it really does, it talks to you. You forget 0 to 60 times, you forget everything, and it just speaks beautiful Italian to you.
It does. It screams at you.
It screams at you. How is that difficult when designing a car to make that design also in terms of like chassis, but then on the exterior, how do you think
there's
about
really
that?
two things when you touch an Alfa Romeo, whether it's the 4C or literally any of those. It is, number one, of course, an Alfa Romeo is all about performance. Okay, I would love to say design is the most important thing about the Alfa. I have to admit it's the second most important thing, because unless the car handles amazing, the design doesn't mean anything. So I think it's this synthesis. So we have to have a really great relationship with the engineering, which means that all these elements don't look just cool, but actually contribute to the performance, right? So there's this really close collaboration. The second thing is, because it's an Alfa Romeo, it's an intense burden on the designer. It's not just a car, right? I mean, as a matter of fact, when I got my job a year ago, a friend from a big German design studio for one of the OEMs said, Klaus, we're watching you.
Yeah.
Because you're designing now Alfa Romeos, and the whole design community cares about Alfa Romeo. So, yes, you have to deliver an amazing car that works with the engineers, but there's a high expectation about how our cars look.
You're touching their baby, right?
It's everyone's baby. Everyone has to have an opinion about Alfa Romeo, which is amazing, which is true. It's not just a Y0 brand, it's an amazing Italian brand.
And I mean, there's many elements of the 4C that are stunning, and the whole car, there's not one bad angle on this car. Do you have one favorite line or one favorite curve on the 4C Spider?
I think right here where we are, this hip swing here with the air intake, this is again directly influenced by the 33 Stradale. Okay. So I'm always happy when the team can take an element that has historic relevance but also make it contemporary, and not just because we had it in the past, so we copy something and do it retro design, but really it's more like out of respect for the heritage. You take an element, you make it contemporary, you make it work. That's a beautiful element the team has created.
Yeah, I really love this line right here. It just kind of flows like right to the back, and it's gorgeous. Awesome, Klaus. Well, let's go take a look at the Alfa Romeo Giulia. How about
that? Okay.
Awesome. All right, and we're back here with Klaus. We're actually now sitting in the Alfa Romeo Giulia QV. It's in this gorgeous blue. Could you kind of touch upon the color of this car?
Yeah, the color is a fresh addition, Misano Blue. We introduced it with the launch of the TI here in the US, or the Veloce in Europe. And it's a color that resonated so well, and it looks so great on the QV that we thought, okay, we got to have it on the QV too.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning, and I think the only thing that can maybe trump the color is this interior.
Absolutely.
These seats, can you talk to the seats a little bit? Or?
Yeah, we have one of the beautiful things is working in Italy is you're working with Italian legacy suppliers, guys like Sparco. And this is a Sparco seat.
Oh, nice.
With the carbon fiber shell, the airbag integration, all that stuff. So this is an amazing seat that has a fantastic lateral support.
Great support, yeah.
And it just fits perfect, So it's one of these things. And, of course, you save the weight with the carbon fiber structure. So it's a beautiful seat for this car.
Yeah, the seat almost fits as well as your Italian suit there, Klaus.
Thank you.
Since we're in the interior, let's talk. I know among enthusiasts the 8-speed automatic is controversial. Yeah. Tell us why you went with the automatic and why it's actually better than the manual.
Yeah. You know what? The manual is available in Europe. It's not available in the US, but our marketing guys can speak better to that. Here's the thing, guys. I grew up with a manual transmission.
Yeah.
Okay, and I love manual, and I know why we all love it. Drive this car and then judge it whether you really need the manual transmission. This automatic, the team that has developed this transmission, this whole powertrain configuration, have done such an amazing job. I can tell you that I've driven a lot of vehicles, our own and competitive vehicles on racetracks. And I can tell you, this is the first car where I felt 100% comfortable leaving the car totally in automatic mode. You go into race mode, that means it keeps the revs very aggressively high. If you go into D and A mode, it's much more normal, and of course you want to shift. But if you go in race mode, very aggressive RPM threshold, and then you really can take that thing around the racetrack and don't have to worry about shifting. You can really focus 100% on the car. If you want, take it over, you go into manual mode, you'd use the massive pedals. You can hear the click. They're super precise, super fast, super snappy. You'll have tons of fun. But I guarantee you, once you've taken the car around a racetrack in race mode, I'd be very surprised if you missed the manual.
And I can't wait to actually test out the 8-speed automatic. Can we talk about design? We're at the 4C. It's hard to trump a beautiful car like the 4C Spider. I mean, this car is stunning. Can you talk about influence lines and kind of, where the design kind of came from? Yeah,
so the front end of the Giulia is very much an evolution of what you already see with the 4C or the Giulietta. It has the big Scudetto, that's how we call our grille, the lower lobos. So we establish and we continue to establish this face, because when you look around at the auto show here, you can categorize every face into like 3 or 4 baskets, and no one has something like the Alfa. So it's a very unique face that we're not going to move away from, but we're going to evolve. So that was the most important part. The second important part is it's focusing again on sculpture, on the surface treatment. It's a car that you want to enjoy hand wash. There's no hard intersection. There's always beautiful fluid transitions between the surfaces. That gives a very muscular, very athletic, touch feminine, in a good way.
Yeah.
And so it brings back this kind of Italian sculpture to the vehicle, and that is something that we also, as you can see later, evolved into the Stelvio. So that was the most important thing when we touched the Giulia.
They say the key in a good design is when you're washing the car. And you love washing.
And it feels good, right?
Yeah, it feels good, right? Like
absolutely.
When you're the curves and kind of going over it. You had mentioned earlier your favorite line on the car is the right below the driver's door. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, if you get a shot later of the plan view of that sill, I don't think there's any car anywhere in the show or out there that has such a dramatic shape with the sill. So I think I think, you know, normally the still is a functional thing and we do it and looks kind of cool, but it can be too sporty, can be too cliche.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, the guys have done, and it's such an amazing, who would have thought that I would say that the sill could be arguably the most beautiful thing about a car, especially on the QV with that carbon fiber insert. Amazing job by the team.
Awesome, Klaus. Well, thanks for going over the Giulia here. Let's move over to the next car.
Let's do that.
Awesome, thank you.
This one here, we've been a little bit more restrained on the QV. We're really able to bring it out. They had some architectural reasons. On this one here, we're a little more restrained, a little more pulled back. Not quite as dramatic as on the QV Giulia.
Do you have a favorite design element or favorite piece other than the wheels on?
Well, let's talk about the rear, because that's what you're going to see most of the car.
You're going to be showing everybody the backside of the Stelvio, right?
Well, it's a QV version, 505 horse, and on the Giulia that leads to an acceleration of 3.8 seconds, 0 to 60. So this one being a four-wheel drive, it'll be some interesting numbers. But the beautiful thing about the rear is that, of course, it has amazing proportions, and we wanted to give it a fresh look, meaning not this typical boxy SUV look that you get with the competition. So when you actually be able to look at the three-quarter view, you see, this fast C-post here, the beautiful sculpture we have, and you're inside, you see that space is not compromised, but we're able, most importantly, to really give it this beautiful sculpture and to give it a totally different look than you get normally from these boxy SUVs.
Yeah, this carries that same philosophy of when you're washing your car.
Exactly.
You're gonna enjoy kind of every moment in it. Awesome, Klaus. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It's been nothing but a pleasure talking with you about the Alfa Romeo line, and you guys have done a fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
From inside to outside to performance. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to the team.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Mike Thompson with Right Foot Down at the North American International Auto Show.